Hey guys, I promised a video for subframe connectors this week, but I broke my back. It's spinal. No, I didn't break my back, but I did pull a muscle in my back and it is painful and I'm trying to let it heal, but I have another video in the works for adjusting the coilover suspension. So I'm gonna let that rip. Just give you a heads up of where we are. I got the driver's side subframe connector in, and I was just seeing how that went before I record the other side. So bear with me, just let my back heal up. I was an idiot. I wasn't an idiot. I was deadlifting in the gym, and it's not a weight I haven't lifted before, and just for some reason my back decided to commit treason and lock up. So I had to give it some rest for a few days, so bear with me. And on with this video. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be diving in on how to adjust the suspension. Now, a couple videos ago, kind of took it for a ride after the put the front end back together, and it was a little low for my liking. I was afraid to one, destroy my oil filter, which could destroy the engine, not cool. And also, I didn't know if I was going to bang the fenders. Just doing a little adjustment on the front and back. Just need to dial in the suspension, and we're gonna take it for a ride. Follow me through this little video and I'll show you how to adjust these Petters Extreme XA coilovers. Alright, I already adjusted the passenger side of the vehicle, but this side, like I said, it's a little lower. So this one, I can get 3 fingers in, just like I got in your mom last night. Then come over to the other side, and now we could fist this bitch. So we're good here. This should be plenty gap, because when the car was on the ground, I was only able to get like a finger in between here, and now I could get like 4 or more, a little more than 4. So it should give me a little more clearance and make me a little happier. We're going to start off by removing this adjuster and the nut. It won't come down. You also got to take off the wheel, obviously, but I will show you the tools that you need. And I'll show you how to adjust it. It's pretty easy. They give you 2 little spanner wrenches, I guess they're called, to adjust it. No big deal. I'll get the wheel off and we can start digging into this. This is just showing an example, like, hey, it's on the car already. Do I have to take this whole thing apart? No, you don't. Let's dig into it. Alright guys, so to take off this little adjuster, it's 19 millimeter. You don't have to go crazy. Just pop it loose. Spins right off. Nice and easy. Just put that to the side. And then the nut here is a 24 millimeter. I just break it loose so it just hangs out at the top, because you can take it entirely out. Nothing will drop. But I want to take the wheel off before I completely remove this for the adjustment. So like I said, 24 millimeter socket. Give it a little yaw. That's good enough for now. Okay, so next gonna take the wheels off. If you still have the stock tires and you got these little caps, just dig them out with a screwdriver. Okay, and then I use a 19 millimeter to take the wheel off. Nothing crazy. Okay, so now you got 2 little spanner wrenches. One's bigger, one's smaller, as you can imagine. The lock nut is bigger, and then there's another one that's smaller. So what I did on the other side was I loosened this one up and backed it down just to get some tension off the spring, and then I loosened this one up, and then you will be able to twist this by hand. Now, when you drop the spring down lower, what I did was I put this up a little bit, this bigger one, and then I locked the bottom one, and that helps you be able to turn it and bring it down. And so yeah, I found that to be pretty easy. So this is the bigger one, so we'll stick the little guy down here, little guy here, big guy up top, and just, yeah, there you go, nice and loose. So now this is loose, we'll bring that down a little bit. And then, like I said, I want to get tension off the spring, so I can't really do it by hand here, so just grab it, just get it from back here, and get some tension off the spring. Ugh. And you want to go until you can like kind of spin it by hand. No big deal. All right, so for some reason on this one, it dropped down. Don't know why. The other side didn't. So I'm gonna bring that back up and get it situated. All right, guys, got the shock back into the shock mount up top. So now I got this in place. I'm going to spin this, and then I'm gonna tighten that up so that it locks this in. So we got the small guy, big guy, and we're gonna get them lined up. There we go. And just crank them up. So now this collar on the bottom is smaller. So loosen this guy up. There we go. And there's like a little collar in there. I'll show you in a second. Okay, so you can see there's like a little washer spring in there. It's kind of like oddly shaped. That's to lock this down when you crank it down. So now that we are ready to adjust this, so what I do is I grab this 2 locking nut combination. You could spin it. Obviously, you turn it clockwise, it's going to shorten it. Do it counterclockwise, it's going to drop it down. So I took measurements from the fender here to the top of the rotor. I was getting about 14.5 inches. So that's what I want to get here. That should make the height about the same on each side. So let's crank this down, get it where we want it, get some measurements. So we want obviously counterclockwise. So we're gonna grab this and turn it. I have to use this. The other side I got to spin by hand, so we'll just use this. So the spring is not compressing, it's just the shock extending. So this should give us a little bit more room in our wheels. Now I got the measuring tape, get my measurement between the bottom of the fender to the top of the rotor. So let's see what we got. And I am at 14.25, a little less than a quarter. So we'll keep churning this thing around and make it happen. See what that gets us right there. Almost there. Just past 14.25 right now. So let's keep going. So we're 14.5 right there, maybe a little bit more. Let's get a little bit more of a turn. All right, cool. Yeah, 14.25 right there. So now that you got your 14.25, we're gonna tighten this guy up because we don't want that going anywhere. Use our small spanner. Give it a little, tighten that up nice. And then I loosen this up and I get the spring tightened up by hand into a position that, like, once I get it tight by hand, I give it a little extra of this just so it's seated good, and should be all she wrote. There we go. And then we'll crank this guy back down. There we go. So that's good. Let's see if that changed our measurement here. All right, so we got this locked down. Now we need to tighten this up. So like I said, try and do it by hand until you start getting resistance. So those bottom one's already loose. Spin this one till you can't spin it by hand anymore, just so you keep the preload on the spring. So about right there. And then what I do is just give it like a quarter turn, just so it's good. It's nice and tight. Bring this guy up, and then we're gonna crank that one down. So we want this one over here, this one here, and just try and spin the bottom one to lock it in. Just like so. All right, and then just throw the wheel back on, see what your gap is. This one should be relatively close. Like I said, if I could get a fist in there, more than 3 fingers, I'm good with that. That gets you another inch and a half maybe of clearance, which I really want because the last one was only about friggin' inch, if that. So let's get the wheel back on and see what we got. All right, guys, got the wheel and tire back on. I got about a fist in there. I really like it. Now, I could go crazy and, you know, fine tune it and make sure it's absolutely perfect, but in due time. I just want to get this thing roadworthy and see if spending $3,000 plus on a suspension, which I could already tell you the bushing kit was a friggin' disaster. Spoiler alert, watch the last video. And now I just gotta do a couple little things, put this little guy back on, which is nice little screwed on. Take this little 19mm, get a little snug and don't go crazy, you will destroy that thing. So yeah, the front suspension should be in good shape. The back, I'll show you how to adjust that too. Looks like it's a little more in depth on that one. So next video will be about the rear suspension and adjusting the coilovers for that, because it's not one built-in piece, it's two. You have a separate spring, separate adjuster, and then you have a separate strut that is adjustable in its own way. So I'll go over that in the next video for that. Other than that, stay tuned, like, subscribe, you know the deal, and I'll see filthy animals later.